Hello everyone, Giltar here with an action figure review. This time we'll be looking at the Robot Damashii GNX3 A-Loss type, or Jinx 3. Now the Robot Damashii lineup of action figures are higher end action figures with a good range of articulation and accessories. Now the Jinx here is very posable. I think one of the weak points of this action figure is that it has relatively few accessories. But in my opinion, that's not due to product design. That's really simply due to keeping it accurate to the concept that it's based off of. In the Gundam 00 anime, the Jinx only really has 3 weapons: the beam rifle, the beam saber, and if you're talking about the A-Loss type, then you have a GN lance. The other Jinx variations just usually have a beam rifle and a beam saber, and they also have a beam, or not beam, but like a GN shield on their forearm. So it's not, the lack of accessories has nothing to do with the design of the Robot Damashii figure. It's just they're keeping it accurate. Now in terms of the accessories, let's start off with the hands. Right now it has 2 sort of grip fists plugged in. But when you get the action figure in the packaging, it has these sort of open hand parts on. I really like the sculpting on them, especially because they have tapered fingertips, so they're almost claw-like, just like on the show. It comes with 2 of those. In addition to the beam saber, beam rifle, and the shield, comes with this GN lance, which is a great little accessory, or not so little, because right now it's taller than the Jinx. But if you extend the handle and put it in sort of full combat form, it's probably about almost twice the height, so that's pretty impressive. It can be used in basically 2 ways. It can either be used as a melee weapon, as a lance, literally stabbing and hitting people with it in this form, or if you flip out the handle, which is kind of difficult because I don't have long fingernails. If you flip out the handle, you can use it as a ranged weapon, as a rifle or a gun, basically. So that's nice. Now getting to the accessories it has equipped right now, starting with a shield, which plugs into the forearm at a little rectangular port. It's a really nice accessory because it's small, it's a little plain, but I like how it looks. The fact is, there's a middle part that if you pull out just a tad, it allows you to rotate it all the way around, so just like on the show, it can spin around and deflect enemy fire. And then when you want to secure it, you just press it back in and it pegs into place. The beam saber is next, where overall it's a standard beam saber. I mean, you've got your hilt and you have your beam blade. The handle's pretty standard, very nondescript, pretty plain, and the beam blade is a separate part. What I like about the beam saber, though, is the fact that it's cast in a clear red plastic, and it's a dark red color that is like what you see on the anime, where the enemy mobile suits use false solar furnaces. They're not the authentic GN drives that the Hero Gundams use. So rather than the bluish green sort of good-looking GN particles that come out, you see a sinister or dark red, sickly-looking GN particle field from the sort of fake solar furnace mobile suits. And we also have this GN machine gun, which I really like because while it's kind of plain, the design of the accessory is really nice. Like right now, it has a forward grip, which is stationary, but if you extend it just slightly downwards, it allows you then to rotate it from side to side to basically facilitate as a side grip. I really like that touch, and it really sort of harkens to like the Zaku machine guns, which were shorter, smaller sidearms compared to like the Hero Gundam longer beam rifle in the original series. Another thing I like about the beam rifle beam gun is that it has a back peg component that pegs into the forearm port here, so it's very similar to the Exia and 00 Gundam. However, another touch that I like about it is the fact that it's not stationary. You can actually rotate it from side to side to accommodate different grips while it's held in the hand. So I'll just peg it back in, so that because I can rotate it a little bit, you can put your beam rifle in a variety of poses so you don't always have to have the beam gun sort of on a straight angle down the forearm. So I really like that about this action figure. Now in terms of articulation for the figure, pretty standard for Robot Damashii, which means you have articulation and mobility in all the major joints. So like the shoulders can rotate 360 degrees, full rotation below the elbow, elbows bend just over 90 degrees. The head is on a ball joint, I believe, so it can nod and look up and down and go side to side. But it can't go 360 due to the way that the collar armor here blocks it, but there's no need to move your head like that. It can also rotate at the waist 360 degrees with no problems. There's nothing getting in the way. The front skirt binders are on ball joints, I believe, so you can get a nice variety of angles for positioning. The legs themselves are a combination of ball joints and like peg joints, so you can get a lot of different wacky poses with them, so that's nice. The upper legs are pretty big due to the thigh armor, but the thigh armor has articulation. The back part can go up that high, which allows you then to move the leg and bend it nearly 180 degrees. So that's really nice to see. It's not something that you shouldn't expect by any means in an action figure, but you never know. But the Robot Damashii line seems to have great articulation all around for everything I've seen so far. Finally, the feet are on multiple joints, so you can have side-to-side movement, up and down, really significant movement there, and full rotation. So all in all, it's a really fun action figure. Unlike the Gundam, where I remarked that the level of detail is lower than the high-grade model kit, I think the Jinx doesn't suffer as greatly because the actual design of the Jinx is more streamlined and uniform. It doesn't have so much variation in surface detail as, say, for example, the any of the Hero Gundams. So it doesn't really need to be that detailed, and in fact, I think it looks pretty good in the action figure form as compared to the model kit of the Jinx. Also, there are some really nice details, like on its left shoulder pad armor. There's, I believe, the A-Law's emblem here. What else is there? I think that's it for logos. But you know, the back sort of skirt here has like a partially concealed thruster jet here. Obviously, you have the GN drive, the false GN drive or false solar furnace. And the head itself has some nice detailing. I mean, it has this sort of forehead camera sensor unit that's in sort of a light metallic pink color. Very sort of reminiscent of the mono eyes of the sort of original enemy mobile suits. However, if you look just under, the Jinx does indeed have like two separate eyes beneath the forehead armor. Alright, so yeah, overall, definitely recommend this action figure. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's a really solid figure. All the parts have great mobility, and there's no issues except for a possibility of people just not liking the sort of low amount of accessories. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for future reviews.